I'm about as big of a God of War fan as there is on the planet. I've played through every single game. I own all the collector's editions. I own the statues, toys, consoles, accessories. If it's got Kratos' face on it, I own it. I'm wearing the t-shirt. And if you're still not convinced, I've even got the man himself front and centre on my arm, smack bang for the world to see. So we've established that I'm a God of War fan. We've established I'm a collector. So surely I'll be ordering the God of War Ragnarok Collector's Edition, right? Wrong.
What you know about retro ghetto, collecting and playing retro. Lock into the retro ghetto.
Hi everybody and welcome back to the Retro Ghetto. So today is a day I've had marked on my calendar for a couple of weeks now as the day that the pre-orders go live for the God of War Ragnarok Collectors and Jotnar editions. I was tagged on various different social media platforms probably about 10 times. I had multiple people send me the link to the video. I watched it and it was brilliant. It was hosted by the chap that's doing the voiceover for Thor, the guy that played Opie in Sons of Anarchy. And as I'm watching it, I'm thinking, wow, this is fantastic. I'm so excited. I've been waiting eagerly for the climax of the story of Kratos and Atreus. And I thought it was everything I could have wanted in the collector's edition. They've got an awesome sort of statue of Thor's hammer, which obviously is going to be very relevant during the game. So yeah, I'm watching the video thinking, when can I pre-order? When can I pre-order? And now the day's here, I haven't pre-ordered. And let me tell you why. So the reason that I haven't pre-ordered it and will not be buying the collector's edition is that there's no physical copy of the game. You might be saying, Callum, you're a dinosaur, you're an old man, you're living in the past. That's a sign of the times. We're going more of a digital market. PlayStation 6 and Xbox Series X, XS, Excessive, whatever they're going to call it, probably will be entirely digital. Well, okay, but we're not there yet. Previously, the God of War Collector's Edition was available both as a digital version and as a physical. This time, they haven't done that for reasons unbeknown to myself. And the clue's in the name, right? It's a video game Collector's Edition. So one would think people be buying this that are collectors of video games. Collectors of video games, like myself, want a copy of the video game. And not only that, to add insult to injury, to rub salt in my already open wound, they're giving you an empty steelbook. Why? What's that for? An empty steelbook. The steelbook looks great. It matches exactly with the one that came in the previous collector's edition. This one does have a game inside. So again, they've made it match, but they've made it empty. So you could argue two things here. You could be quite innocent, or I might say naive, and think, right, okay, sign of the times, everyone's tightening their purse strings a little bit. They don't want to put the game in, but they're trying to give you everything else and still include a steelbook. Well, I rebuke that by saying, well, how much does it cost to print a disc? They're going to be printing these discs in their tens of millions, right? This game's obviously going to be selling very, very well. I would rather they charge me an extra £5. If you're already paying £180 plus postage for the collector's edition, I don't think there'd be many people that would be dismayed by paying £185 plus postage for a copy with the game itself. Another way that I've been looking at this, arguably more cynically, is to say they're giving you an empty steelbook because they want you to buy a copy of the game down the line or at the same time to put the game in your book. So not only do they want you to spend £185 on the collector's edition, they also want you to then go out and buy a physical copy so you can put a copy of that disc into your steelbook. You may be watching this thinking, well, why do I care? I'm not buying the collector's edition. I don't like God of War. I'm not bothered.
The boy has been cursed.
We should all be bothered because when we allow people to be putting out collector's editions without physical copies of the game, it's just giving license to them and more developers to do the same going forwards. 5 to 10 years ago, if you bought a collector's edition of a game and it didn't have the disc, you would be in uproar. At the moment, it seems to have gone relatively unchallenged. I'm not hearing anybody else as pissed off about it as I am. And to me, it just doesn't make sense. As I said before, it can't cost the company a lot to print a copy of the disc, which leads me cynically to think that maybe they want you to buy both the collector's edition and a copy of the game. We live in a world where everything's DLC and trying to get more money out of you. And again, that's what keeps me going back to the retro games. When you used to buy a game for X amount of value and you had the full game in your hands. This is just another way of people getting more money out of you or giving you less for the money that you've spent. We're in a cost of living crisis. It doesn't appear to be going away anytime soon. And little things like this just piss me off. And I think they should piss you as a consumer off as well. If we don't do anything about it and we keep buying these goods with less and less included in them, they're not going to stop doing it. If anything, they're going to be giving you less and less as time goes on. Now I'm excited as much as anybody else for the game. I'll be there on day one, I'll have pre-ordered the copy of the game. I can't wait to see the climax of what happens to Kratos and Atreus. But I cannot get behind spending almost £200 on a collector's edition video game that doesn't come with the video game itself. Hopefully down the line eBay will be kind to me and I'll be able to pick one up or just pick up the hammer for an affordable price that I deem reasonable. I feel like my rant is over. Thank you for everybody for putting up with it. On to more positive news. As you can probably hear, the builders are still here. I'm going to have another update on me building my dream games room, the Retro Ghetto 3.0, very soon. And I've also got an amazing shop tour coming, which, yeah, you guys are going to love it. Stay tuned for that one. Keep it locked to the Retro Ghetto. As always, play games, keep it retro. Thank you for watching.
Retro Ghetto.